Well, this is why it's a premium rate. If you want me on a weekend, then you pay premium for that because it means I may not be able to do another wedding.
Ah, right. So registry is during the week.
During the week,
Right.
it's fine, but I get a different quality of client in that price range.
Yeah.
If I do the lower ones in the registry, sometimes, not always,
Yeah.
but often you'll find that it's a different expectation.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I do my portraits and my other things on the weekend, if I have a registry wedding, I'll go and do other things on that day. But yeah, it's more of a premium because of that.
Yeah. Right.
I have to think about that. Obviously, I prefer to do my big weddings, but
Yeah.
if I have a free date and it comes up,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
rather do that than nothing.
So we're talking about email marketing, and Ian, you've sent out your first newsletter, and I'm just looking on the iPhone, and it looks pretty good, but I want to make a couple of comments.
Cool.
You've done what most photographers do when they first send out their first newsletter. There are too many topics and too many links. You've got to keep your message clear.
Okay.
What you're trying to do with that particular newsletter. You've tried to do everything.
Yep.
You've done a welcome, but it's probably half as long, would have been much better.
Yep.
Image of the month, that's great, what you've done. And then you've sent a link for more of the wedding. Then you've got a newsletter special, so there you've got your offer. But also you've got click here to discuss your wedding. So you've got 3 messages so far. Then you've got the blog. So you're sending them right there as well. And then you've got a pretty bad joke, whatever that is. I haven't read it. It's a bad joke. And then you've got leading them back to your website and your blog and your Facebook. So you've given people 4 things to do. It's better to give them 1.
Okay.
So that means this is like 4 newsletters in 1.
Okay.
So
Less work
you can
to,
dribble it out, dribble a message out. So dribble information and then dribble an offer.
Okay.
All right. So you've just tried to do everything.
Yep.
I looked at it and just basically flicked through it, and it's very easy to flick through on an iPhone, isn't it? And you just get rid of it. And a link, I click a link and it goes, well, I'm not going to look at all of those links, am I?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So target your portrait. When you target portrait, target a particular age of child or a newborn. In other words, make the newsletter on newborns. Make an offer for newborns,
Okay.
and that's all.
Yep.
All right. So you know, that's the best way. And don't forget, you're going to send this out every 4 or 5 weeks, and then in between, just maybe a text. But that's a pretty good start.
Thanks.
And you did that on what was it, Mad Mimi?
Mad Mimi. I tried a few, but that one just sort of. I'm a bit of a dunce with formatting and stuff.
That was
so it
easy
worked
for you.
me, Yeah.
And was it free?
It is, but it's $10 a month to get some other features, which I think I'll do.
Which is not much.
You get more sign-up forms and
Yeah.
that compared to other forms of advertising. That
Yeah,
seems quite.
but that's great. So as you build your database, you can automatically add it to that, and then automatically get sending out newsletters and information and offers and whatever. But it's a pretty good start. All right, so that's great. So
Thanks.
what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about pricing, we thought, and sort out maybe your wedding prices.
Sounds good.
All right. So, what prices have we got, Andrea?
Oh, they're a mess. I'm going to put it on the table and say they're a mess.
Well, have you got it to put on the table?
I don't have them with me. No, I'm sorry, but I can tell you what they are. I have tried multiple ways to price, and I'm still not 100% with how it works. I've gone down time-based rate.
Yes.
I've gone with blocks, so whether it be from the bride's house to the first hour of the reception.
Yeah.
The arguments I had with that is that, well, I've only got a 3-hour wedding and you've got an 8-hour wedding, so why are they the same price? So I've gone back to time blocks, which I don't advertise. I find out what people need, and then I quote accordingly to that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that at
But
the
it's still
moment.
based on hour.
It is at the moment, yes.
Right.
I feel better in myself with that. Whether it's the way to go or not, I don't have an answer for that. I'm never comfortable. I'm never comfortable.
How did you come up with your prices?
It started when I first started going back into weddings. It was what I considered to be competitive enough to get work. And then as I went on, I started to look at the industry and started to align myself with what I considered to be the standard that I was at. And that's about where I got to. Now, as running a business where it's my full time, it's more based on what do I need in order to make a living.
And take bookings.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I found the lower I charged, the worse client I got. So I want to be aligned with people that value photography and value what I do.
Right.
So the magic number is still unknown to me.
But as I said last week, the first thing you do is set down your brand,
Yes.
and which we did last week, and that will take you forward, because that will make you have some separation between you and other photographers in the marketplace. And when I talk marketplace, I just mean within your area.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're only competing really with well, you shouldn't be competing. You should always do what you want to do and go on your own journey,
Yeah.
and not let other photographers affect your journey.
No.
But if you take into consideration that there are other photographers there, you've got some separation now. So that's on your flag that you wave. This is what makes me different. So that means with your pricing, you can price it to a level that you feel comfortable with. As you say, you don't attract the clients that want a $500 shoot and burn.
That's right.
But there has to be some basis. Now, my basis for starting at a price you charge at your cringe factor, right? That's where you start in any pricing. Keep in mind, you're not looking for people like yourself. You want clients that have got a lot of money, right?
Yes.
You don't want people like you, right?
Definitely not like me.
So don't ever think you're the client.
No.
And then you go out and attract that sort of client. So we'll look at sort of doing that. At present, just as a starting price, what have you got? What's your starting price?
Well, I actually do quite a lot of registry office weddings.
Right.
So they will be small weddings. So you're looking around the 500 mark for a very small wedding.
2 hours, whatever.
An hour and a half to 2 hours. But then it also depends. Were you smiling at me? You've got me nervous.
No, that's interesting, because I'll tell you why I'm smiling. I went through a phase where I started to think hourly rate, and this is when I went through a phase, let's put it this way, and I think it was after I'd retired and came back after 3 days and then retired again a few years later. So I put myself out there. I thought, well, what is a good rate? And I thought about $100 an hour. So I had this inquiry with the registry office, and this is why I was smiling. You reminded me.
Yeah.
And they wanted 2 hours, and I charged them $195 for a CD, right? So all we did, I was there 5 minutes before the ceremony. We took them arriving. There were a total of 20 people, and we took the ceremony, took them outside. Then we went for a walk to the park, and they opened a bottle of champagne, made a couple of speeches, and all within 2 hours. And that's what I charge them. So don't feel embarrassed if you charge them
Oh no,
$500.
I'm happy with it because it's, I find that's quite good for me. It sits nicely.
But with that price range also, that's their expectation.
Absolutely. And
Because they don't want to pay $1,000.
No, absolutely. Well, that's people marry there for many reasons, and often it's a monetary reason. Other reasons as well. But
Yeah, it could be the
Yeah.
fourth wedding.
it's often. I've done a few. Well, more 3 weddings. I haven't been a 4th yet. So.
So there's quite a few reasons there. So yeah, working out the pricing is hard. That's an example, because theoretically, on an hourly rate, you're charging $250 an hour or something, which is a lot of money.
It is, and the argument is it's not just the time involved in the 2 hours. If I were to break down the other hours, it would be a much lower rate.
Yeah, but still a good rate.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm happy with registry.
So that's your starting point
Yeah,
for a 2 hour.
that's right.
Yeah, it is a lot of test and measure about what works and what doesn't work, whether you package, whether you charge the hour, or whether you individually give a quote to individual couples. I suppose either way, you've got to have some sort of formula that you're going to use.
Absolutely.
If I was still running a wedding photography studio today, I think I would keep the pricing simple. I think I've had 4 different coverages. I think that I would not put any particular hourly rate, just quote it as a job. In other words, my normal coverage, which most people will want, would be the groom's home, bride's home, ceremony, locations, and early reception, and then I'll just quote on that, and then it could be a minus or a plus either way as my basic coverage. So with my 4 coverages, I would include all of that, right? And with each, when I say my 4 coverages, you could just do one and then go up and down depending on the client. You say, well, this is our base rate, this is what you get, this is what it includes, which is normally from the groom's home to sit down at the reception. Have you any variations on it? I could ask the client then, and they might say, oh, it's only a 2-hour coverage and what is. So then I could go quote less. If it was a longer Chinese wedding, tea ceremonies, I could quote higher. So that's one way you could go, very simple. Or you could have a 4 structure with different amounts of time. Or what I actually used to do was have a CD only